Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Hendo's Hot Topics. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're looking after yourself. Hope you've had a good week. Now, today I'm very lucky to be joined by Will Thomas from Sachi. How's it going, brother?
Very good, bro. How are you?
Good, man. Good, man. Thank you
good.
for taking time out of your busy schedule, because you boys have just come back from Australia from, was it a couple months?
Yeah.
Bit of a deja go over there.
Yeah. No, it was amazing. We pretty much hopped on the first flight we could out, and just spent sort of 6 weeks over there riding in Sydney and Melbourne, and just catching up with people that we hadn't seen in 2 years. We'd been to Australia a lot in our early days and made a bunch of friends over there, and so it was so good to just kind of catch up with people and just reconnect and get back. Also that fresh inspiration of being in a new country, and they've had this whole scene that's been developing for 2 years while we've been like in New Zealand developing our scene and like going to the gigs here, and then they've been doing it. So it's like when we go over there, we're like, oh shit, like this stuff's popping up over here, or like, oh, that's interesting that like this artist is real big now, or that artist is doing this now. So yeah, it was fucking interesting. It was real interesting, but an amazing experience. And also, they've been in the same boat. Like Melbourne's been the most locked down city in the world, or second most locked down city in the world. So like when we showed up, they were like, "Oh fuck, we haven't had a session in 2 years with people from outside of Australia." So like, thanks for coming through. And like, so yeah, it was dope. The river flowed both ways. So no, it was amazing.
Isn't it kind of buzzy as well? You don't actually realise, because I've just started playing sports again. You don't realise how much time we've actually. You backed off from everything until you do that. It's quite an eye-opener. And I want to say is, because obviously you boys have been in such a habit of, always being on top of what's next, always getting that next song out, being that habit, like I said, that momentum. Is it hard to, go to Australia, to find that time just to relax for a bit?
I think what me and Nick have been talking about is like, we were traveling so much in our early days between like sort of 2016 to 2020, we were just like we'd be away for like most New Zealand winters in either Australia, or we'd be in Europe, or we'd be in America. And, it wasn't until we slowed down and we were like, fuck, we've been doing really mean shit for like 3 years, and it's kind of just been like work almost, and haven't put that emphasis on like, damn, we actually just need to enjoy this journey. And like, I think that's something that going back to Australia and having all this new inspiration, we'd kind of forgotten about how inspiring that those new places are and those new people are. And we were very much like, fuck, well, let's just enjoy this journey, let's just like have that one more drink, or do that, spend that extra hour in the studio, or like go to this place, or, check out this new band that we'd never heard of. And like just doing stuff like that again was like so inspiring. We kind of left like, wow, we didn't know how much we missed that, and like how much we needed that. So that was an interesting sort of realization when we came back. We're like, fuck, that was sick. Like, can't wait to do that again. Can't wait to enjoy new places again.
Yeah, and it's quite crazy. Yeah, like you might be doing what you enjoy. You might be trying to chase your dreams, and when you're so focused on that, you do forget about that balance. And it is nice when you boys going over there realizing, damn, I've missed this. It's not always what you're driving for. You need to have that balance. I'll try to push out a lot, is finding that balance between what you love to do, but don't forget about your friends or things you used to love outside of it.
100%. I think also another thing we were talking about was how your goalposts move when you achieve certain goals in life, and we're playing Tomorrowland this year, which is 5 years ago is like would have been unthinkable for us, and we've played Rhythm and Vine's main stage. Closed it out like headline slot, and when we started that, we were like, okay, if we've done that, we can quit. Like we've made it if we've played that slot. And then we played it, and obviously it was fucking incredible, and played to 28,000 people, whatever. But then it's always like kind of like, okay, how do we do that in Australia? Like, how do we close out that? How do we close out fucking Splendor main stage? Your goalposts move, and it's not until you actually sit back, and we did a lot of this in 2020 and 2021, where we were kind of like, damn, we fucking did some really cool shit, and we just completely overlooked it. Just like met some amazing people, did some amazing sessions, played some amazing shows, and we never actually gave ourselves that chance to say, fuck, if the 15-year-old version of us saw us doing this, like they would be gassed. And so yeah, we're kind of taking that mentality moving forward, and just being way more present, and being like, sweet, we've fucking achieved this. Like, that's so sick. Like, let's celebrate this achievement But also, there's always that new thing of like, sweet, Tomorrowland this year? Is it, Coachella next year? Or, how do we keep the wheels spinning? So it's an interesting balance of acknowledging your successes, but also trying to set up more successes in the future.
And that's such a mean mindset to have. And for some people, that's such a hard mindset. But a lot of people think, they might see it as selfish or cocky. But it's so healthy.
100%.
It's always that one step ahead of yourself. You always need to find a way to keep your momentum going. Like you said, it's Tomorrowland coming up, Coachella next year.
Yeah.
That's that drive you need.
Yeah,
who gives a crap what others have to say? There's so many people who say, no, you won't be able to do that.
Yeah.
Don't let people say that.
Never.
As long as you know, and like you said, your younger self, if they saw you now and knew what you're going to do,
100%.
Bro, it's that moment when you're in it. You think, I'm so glad I didn't listen to those people.
100%, bro. 100%. And just enjoying the journey. Back to what we were saying earlier is like, fuck, you got to enjoy the hustle. You got to enjoy that discomfort, that those times that you just wanted to say like, fuck it, I'm just going to go get a job or some shit. Like you have those thoughts. Even I have those thoughts some days, and I'm just like, and then I talk to my mates and they're like, bro, look at you. You're fucking doing this shit. You're a full-time musician, bro. You should be grateful that you're a full-time musician. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, true. I'll go back in the studio or, you got to have those little conversations with your close people to kind of like reignite that. Gives things perspective, because you get lost in the journey and in the grind that you kind of like, fuck, is anything even working? Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I like, would have been so much better if I spent my time doing this rather than doing this. But you just got to enjoy it. You just got to live in the moment and just do what you feel is right, and have your goals. But you know that your goals will change as well. I think that's the main thing. Yeah,
and I want to say thank you for saying that, because a lot of people tend to think that they have the mindset of, they're trying to chase what they want to do, and there's not going to be any road hurdles or speed bumps. And once you hit that, that's a real make or break moment for people.
Absolutely.
And I have those as well. I'm nowhere near on the level you boys are.
Yeah, and you're in a different thing though. You're still doing what, you're still chasing.
And it's the thing you said of, is it still working? And because everyone sees you from, on the decks, and they think, oh my God, what a life they have. But what you said there is really powerful. And that will be, I know for a fact, there'll be a huge eye-opener for a lot of people trying to chase their dreams, is that it's okay to have those thoughts. A lot of people, they get held back, and as soon as they have those, is it working? I'm going to stop. It might be the gym. You work out for 2 months, you see no results. But if you worked out that one extra month, all those results could have came. You see memes about it, bro. You see those like cartoon characters underground mining stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's that guy who stops like an inch away from the diamonds, and that guy who just keeps going. It's like that. You don't know what's on the other side of the door.
Yeah, and what I will say is like, the goals that you set out at the start, because we do a goal list every year, and we set out the goals of stuff we want to achieve, play this festival, headline this, sell out this, release this song, collab with this person, XYZ. And by the time at the end of the year, like, we may have done all this other crazy shit, and we're like, fuck, that stuff wasn't even on our goal sheet.
But we still did it.
And like, it just kind of happened. So, you got to be focused on your goals. You got to know the bigger picture, but don't be afraid if, an opportunity comes up there like, it's not really in line with my goals. It's like, fuck, it could be the next step to getting you to your goal, or it could be a whole nother journey or a whole nother side mission, I'd like to say, of something that could just open as many, like all these other doors. So, have your goals, but also like, don't be afraid when your goals actually move while you're still on the journey.
Yeah, but I love to live by the saying of take the risk or lose a chance, and that's a lot of things. Like when I first started this, I was always focused on, having this format of what I wanted to do and how I did it, and it wasn't until I started, not stepping outside my comfort zone, but expanding it and doing things I wasn't too comfortable with and doing, and then I realized, holy shit, the enjoyment this brings, how much it reignites that flame. You message, like when I message you boys, you message these people who never think they're going to reply, and then they reply. It's like wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Like, honestly, the amount of Hail Mary DMs we've thrown to artists that we wanted to work with that have replied, and we've linked up with them, even if we didn't have a song, we just hung out with them, or like they were like, oh, come to this party, or like, man, shoot your shot, 100%. Shoot your shot,
bro, damn straight.
And don't be afraid to be like persistent with it as well. If they've seen it, they know that you're there. So just go back and say, hey, bro, just following out. I know you're thinking about our DMs. You messaged us probably 2 years, a year ago.
That's the thing is,
and you were hounding us, being like, "Bro, come in." I was like, I'm gonna give this guy the chance because like I know how he feels, and we've been in that position. So I'm just like, fuck it.
I want to say thank you for that. And you probably don't remember, bro, because you've had so much going. You guys won't know this, but a funny story, and I told my mum, I said I was going to apologise to you for it, is I think it was 2 years ago at Soundsplash.
True.
My mum drove you and Nick around, and she sent me a video. Oh my God, Jack! True. And I'm pretty sure that's how we first messaged. I said, sorry guys, this is my mum. And I've actually got the video on my phone. You said, you got the best mum in the world, Jack. And I was like, oh shit!
Bro,
I showed all my mates this.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's when I first started. It was just before I first started it, and I said, okay, I'm going to give it a go. And the podcast wasn't where it is now. I don't have as many, I like to call them family members. I don't like to use the word followers, family members in the podcast, many people who tune in. And I thought, okay, I'm going to give it another go. I'd really love to have the boys on now that I understand it more, now that I'm more confident and, like to actually talk to who I'm talking to, I'm going to give it another go.
Right out.
And when you replied, bro, like, I won't lie, I was with my girlfriend, I sent it, and it was maybe 25 minutes later, ding! I was like, okay. I was like, no, you won't believe who just replied. Yeah. So I was like, they just replied. Oh, and it was, like I said, thank you for giving me the opportunity. It's you can knock on 50 doors and one's bound to open.
100%.
And that's, this right here is not only are we going to have a conversation which is going to help someone watching and tuning in, is that it's that risk. I took that risk. I could have lost the chance and not done it, but I took that risk, bro. And it's, I want to talk about a story that I heard. I want to see if it's true. Yeah. With the whole throwing a USB hard drive into Diplo's window. Like
100%.
That's what I want to move into. Is that exact? You took that risk, and something came from it, bro.
And what I will say about the Diplo story, quick Diplo story. But we basically waited outside this restaurant that he was at in Ponsonby. We were like 18 or something at the time. Yeah. And we waited for him to come out. We knew he was in this black SUV. We banged on his window. He put down the window. We threw like a USB stick in that had our first EP on it. And then he played it on his BBC Radio 1 show like 6 months later. But what we don't tell, part of that story, is that we gave a USB stick to Steve Aoki, Skrillex, Post Malone, MK... Mac Miller, a bunch of these other dudes, and nothing. Never heard anything back. I had our email and stuff, and I never heard anything back. Yeah, but Diplo, then that was not a bad strike rate. Sort of one connection out of 5 or 6 shots that we took. But Diplo played it, and it's like now we've got that kind of relationship with Diplo, and we've linked up since, and we're loosely in comms, and we're loosely in comms with his team as well, and. If we weren't those like hungry 18-year-olds that were just like, fuck it, we're just going to throw this USB stick in this dude's car, like, because whatever, that relationship wouldn't have come about. And since that, he's supported a bunch of our records. Yeah. So, yeah, bro, it's just that thing. Our whole career has been built off us shooting shots and also people taking a chance on us. Our manager, Dan, took a big chance with us. We were nobodies. We were like little kids, begging because he had a radio show on George FM. We're like, bro, can we come play some records? Like, we're big fans of the show. Blah 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 blah. And he's like, fuck it, I'll just let these kids in. And then that relationship was built. My brother happened to be working at George FM at the time, so he kind of like took a chance and was like, hey bro, this is my brother's music. Blah blah blah. And our whole career, bro, has literally just been built off like, people saying like, I love the boys. We're just gonna do this, and then a lot of great stuff's happened. And that being said, we've also tried to return that favor to if a kid sends us a DM, yo, this is my beat, yo, this is my Spotify. We always listen to it, always listen to it, and always give feedback. And like, I know how much that meant to us when we were coming up, and we're still coming up. We still shoot our shots at bigger artists than us. We haven't lost that grind. But we always give the next generation, because it's like one day this next generation is going to come in and they're going to whip our ass and they're going to fucking do bigger, better shit than we could have ever thought of. And like, at least we kind of gave those kids the leg up. We want to look back on that and be like, we want the next wave to be like, oh yeah, the Sachi boys fucking gave me feedback on my first song. Having those sort of like moments is like so rewarding, rewarding.
I was going to say, you just said it then, but do those moments you ever dwell on them or think about them and you think, bro, the amount of kids or people who I've motivated and lighted that flame, because that's even if you saw their message, like you said, they know that you've seen it. That in itself could spark a 13-year-old boy's dream of pursuing music.
100%. Yeah, like. Fuck it all. I mean, we had supportive as fuck parents growing up, and we couldn't ask for better parents growing up. They were just like, we were like, me and Nick pretty much said to them, Mum and Dad, we're dropping out of uni after first year, like, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, fuck, just do it. Like, you might not have a chance to do this stuff. And it's worked out so far. But, I know there's a lot of kids out there that don't have supportive families, or they're like, I want to do music, or I want to do art, or I want to do fashion, or, and your parents are,
no, go get 9 to 5.
Yeah. It's like, what do you study? How's that degree going to affect your whatever life? And I just say, like, man, if you're 18 and you've got a burning desire and you know what you want to do, and it's not a degree, just go for it. Just fucking go for it, because you're not gonna get that sort of like freedom to just actually try shit, like try whatever you want. Again, So my mission statement is just like, just fucking give it a shot, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. There's always a million university degrees you can fall back on, or whatever you want to do with your life. But like, when you're in your your late teens to 30, it's just like, just try shit, just fucking go for it. Just fuck what everyone else says. Just if you want to be a fashion designer, go try a fashion designer, and you might be a fashion designer and think, oh fuck, actually I'd like to be a DJ now, and then go start DJing. Just try shit. Just go for it.
It's like you said before. You might be doing something certain, but something else comes from it. You may be, I don't know, a basketball player, and you find that you go for a run one day with your friends, and you're like, damn, I want to be a marathon runner. Like, it's those little things like that.
Yeah.
And I want to lead into saying, in New Zealand, everyone's quite aware of the tall poppy syndrome. How has that affected you guys, especially you, bro, and pursuing that drive to keep your music going?
I think, man, like, what we did is, like, we surrounded ourselves growing up, like, with amazing supportive people. None of our mates have ever been like, oh fuck, kind of lame what you guys are doing, or like, what's with the blonde hair, like, what's with the white suits, blah blah blah, no, like, I can't think of any sort of, I mean, people have definitely said that stuff behind our back, but whatever. To be honest, man, I'm trying to think of like times that I don't think anyone's ever said directly to my face, what you're doing is a bad idea, and like, you need to go get a real job. Obviously there's always passing comments of people being like, oh, so what are you going to do like after Sachi, or like, what are you going to do when you're 30 and you want to settle down, or you want to do something else? I'm like, fuck, I don't know. I'll
not focusing on that.
I'm just like, I'm focusing on what I'm going to do next week. I'm not focusing on what I'm going to do in the studio today, or I'm focusing on how do we make our show better, and like, I'm focusing on that stuff. Like, I'm not focusing about the end, because like, why would I ever focus on that? Why would I think of focusing on not doing what I love to do?
And when you focus on that kind of thing, that affects your now.
Oh,
and
100%.
It's a hard mindset for you to get into, because I've said it to you before, but once you've gotten, you've clicked and you've said to yourself, okay, the past is the past. I can't do anything. I'm gonna stop putting my energy into that, because nothing's gonna change. And you stop worrying about what you're gonna have for dinner tomorrow, and worry about what you're gonna do now. So many amazing things will happen.
100%.
Because if you put all your time in, I was bad on it, bro. Overthinking so much about the future. I missed all my opportunities of the now.
Bro, straight up, you actually do. And if you go into the thing I'm trying to work on at the moment is like going into situations not knowing the end, because I feel like that's a lot of things that a lot of relationships, work, opportunities, whatever. You look at things and you go, all right, how's this going to end? How's this going to play out?
Yeah.
But bro, you don't know. You don't know. Like, you don't know that, like, like, oh, we might go into this session today. Oh, I don't really like that person's music, but like, oh, we'll go in, and then you might write a fucking shit song and have a miserable time, or you might walk out and go, damn, I just proved myself so wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we just made a hit and like we're all mates now and like it's a vibe. Yeah, I think like you got to go into situations, especially when you're young, you got to go into situations just thinking about how is this going to affect me today?
Yeah.
How is this going to make me feel right now?
Yep.
Bro, you don't even know if you're going to be alive tomorrow. Like, why the fuck would you even think about that?
Yeah.
Why would you even think about, oh, is this what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? Is this what I'm like, is this how I'm going to make money? Like, you know, we never woke up one day and we're like, are we going to make money doing this music thing? Like, we never thought that once. It's like, you know, we just worked hard and we were blessed and lucky that, you know, people happen to like our music and we happen to put a lot of effort into our live show and that connected well with people and, you know, we were able to survive off that. And, you know, we were always kind of thinking like, okay, if we'll give this music stuff a shot and if it doesn't work out, we can always make money elsewhere. But like for right now, we're just going to grind it. And, it happened to work. And, but yeah, nah, it's a buzzy one. You gotta think about just be present. Is my main summary of that.
And like you said, you don't have tomorrow. Time's so precious, bro. I want to ask now is you dropped your first EP in 2016. You know, what were the feelings? Obviously there were nerves, bro. Obviously there were nerves. But what point was it when you're like, okay, we've put in all this bloody hard work, it's starting to pay off?
Fuck. Shit, bro, that's a fucking hard one. It's so weird, bro, because this is back what we were talking about, like your goalpost move. But I think when we probably said to our parents like, hey, we're gonna give music a shot, like, we don't want to do uni right now, and they were like, sweet. We were like,
bit confused.
Yeah, we're like, fuck. You know, now it's on us. And I'd say that was a huge moment for us doing that stuff, like just going out on a whim. Also, like when we played in Australia for the first time, that was big for us. It's like, and there's people singing along. We're like, okay, something's happening here. And then obviously we played like a string of rhythm and vines, which I think have been like very important to our career in terms of growth and getting in front of people. And then we played, Spates burp. We played in America, which was, we did an American tour end of 2019, just before COVID. We played at a very iconic venue in Hollywood Boulevard called the Roxy Theatre, where like every single artist coming up has played the Roxy Theatre in LA on Sunset. And our mums were there, and we had a bunch of like high school, or like a bunch of friends that flew over for the show and stuff like that. And there was obviously like a room full of Americans, and we were kind of like, holy shit, you know, this is crazy. Like, we're on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles playing the Roxy Theatre. Like, it was like a very pinch me moment. But I don't know, bro, there's been so many moments like that along our journey that we've been like, damn, this is crazy. Like, we're really, really doing this right now. Like, this is happening. It's hard to know when there was like that switch, because I think like we had already made that switch. Like we had already decided. And it happened when we were 15. We were at a Flume show, and we were like, here's this kid who's 21 years old, whatever, how old he was at the time, from Manly in Sydney, who's just making beats in his bedroom. Like, why can't we do that? You know, like, that's exactly what we do. Like, that's exactly what we need to do. And then we just did it. And it was pretty much from me and Nick still talk about it. It was like from that show onwards, when we were 15, 16 years old, we were like, this is what we're going to do. Like, and we just knew it. And we never really kind of looked at big moments and thought, okay, now we're doing it, or now this is really happening. Because everything we did was like, oh, we're really doing this. Like, you know, every time we walk out on stage, even to this day, we like hug each other and give each other a kiss on the lips, and we're just like, let's fucking go. Like, you know, let's do this. And we never take those moments for granted. You know, we always treat like every show like the last show, and always think about how, if a fan's in the crowd that's going through whatever, or you know, we always think about like, how, if I saw my favorite artists, like, how would I want them to interact with me, and like, how would I want to feel in that show? So every time we go out on that show and we're wearing fucking white jumpsuits, like, I always like make sure I'm pointing out kids in the crowd. Like, I see you wearing that hat. I see you wearing those glasses. Like, and just try to connect with them, because like, I think you like that live show experience of like the tangible experience where the music's loud, we got the visuals and there's pyro and stuff going up and there's kids going nuts, and we're like, you just gotta bridge that gap between the people and us, and just kind of just like relate to them, I think, and just kind of just have that moment of escapism and to just forget about everything and just like have a sing and a dance. I think those are such precious moments. Yeah,
bro. And there's a huge level of appreciation when you have that connection, 100%. Man. A huge level of appreciation. And it's so overlooked. That like you said, that even if you're just pointing at them, bro, that kid's gonna be fizzing first, and fizzing. Like he's gonna go on Snapchat and tell all his boys.
Yeah.
That's the thing in general, is that connection you need. Nixon said on my last episode is talk to people, not at people.
100%. Yeah,
don't. There's whatever scene you're in, whatever profession you're doing. Is I think it's so easy to feel like you're one step ahead of people, you're overlooking people. But as long as you stay true to yourself and make sure, like Nixon said, is you talk to people, bro, that appreciation is only just going to blossom and grow.
Bro, even when we were in Australia, walking down the street, talking to whoever in Australia, I'm like, none of these people have any idea who I am. I don't know who the hell they are. Like, I'm just gonna, and it's, you just kind of talk to people, and then you end up talking about music, and they're like, I used to do this, I used to do that, and you form these relationships with people that are just purely based on a face-to-face, even human being level, and like no preconceived ideas of who's fucking this, and like I don't 100%. Even know the person I could be talking to who could have 10 million followers on Instagram and is a professional gamer, and I'd have no idea. And you just got to walk into every single interaction like you're just a human, they're just a human. Like even when we've been in big sessions in LA with like, one of the guys from Maroon 5, we're just walking on, and he's, you just realize, fuck, this guy's just called John or whatever his name is, and he's just like a normal dude, like he's no different to anyone else, and like he just talks like a normal person, and he'll just have a normal conversation with you, and you're like, we're all just humans. Like there's none of this fucking shit. You know what I mean? It's just like you just got to see eye to eye with people and just treat everyone how you want to be treated.
It's bridging that gap, exactly like you said, bridging that gap. Now, you and Nick have obviously been friends for a long time. I wanted to get an insight for myself, bro, is how have you kept that healthy balance, between the friendship and the whole performance scene?
Damn. I mean, bro, we're in so deep now. Like, we've been doing this for 7 years, maybe, since we were 17, 24 now. We've been, it's like, it's all we've done as adults. And we're best friends, but ahead of that, we're brothers. We're business partners. We're legally bonded in so many ways that, we just know. We just know how to treat each other. We know how to be there for each other. We know when to just give each other space. We know what pisses each other off. We know how each other work. All these things that you realize over time, and you're just kind of like, okay, Nick's in one of those moods, I'm just going to let him do that, or Nick's in one of these moods, I'm going to be there for him and like ask him if he needs something, or and it's a work relationship as well. Like, to have the best work relationship, you got to have the best relationship. So, and I think going to Australia just recently was really important for our relationship, because it was like just me and him in an Airbnb, clocking off after a big session. We'd be on a tram in Melbourne, just talking shit like we were fucking 17, like just laughing and cracking jokes and stuff. And like, just have those moments where we've never taken anything too seriously, and just enjoyed each other's company, and like, but yeah, I think that's a really, really interesting thing, is like, since we're such good friends, we kind of understand each other on this deeper level. Like, I have a deeper relationship with Nick than I do with a lot of my friends. And it's kind of just that mutual unspoken respect for each other, that we just kind of know how each other work, and, just kind of respecting each other's time and stuff. And it's something that we've just grown into over years. And it's great.
Because you guys have been friends since you're young, eh?
Yeah, since we were 5 years old.
There you go.
Yeah, playing in bands at primary school. Ponsonby Primary. We were, we've fucking been through everything together, been all around the world, been through crazy life shit together, life moments together, highs and a lot of lows, and you just build those relationships with people. Everyone's got those friends that you've got your friends, and then you've got your friends. Yeah. You've got your friends that are like, you can call them at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Come over for dinner. Kind of thing.
And you just have a different connection with them. And it's not, and you got to go through life with them to realize who your friends are, and you've got to spend time away from them to realize who your friends are, and vice versa. So no, we're very lucky, it was just coincidence that me and Nick happened to be put in the same room together. He played the guitar and sang, and he had this big long black fringe, and I played the drums, and we started playing Green Day covers when we were, 6 years old, I'd say. And it just kind of snowballed from there. Yeah.
And it legit is like a relationship.
100%.
Everyone says, you got to become best friends first. Working relationships, sorry. You got to become best friends first before you're a couple.
Yeah.
And I wanted to quickly fill in something we talked about before, because I think it's quite important, is when we're talking about what you want to do with your life, if you have that desire to do something, is I think a lot of people get held back on themselves, is the age thing. The age thing, bro, is, as soon as you become an adult, you got to find someone, you got to settle down, you got to have a family, stuff your goals, don't follow them. But you can be 30, 40, 50 and still have a shot. Who gives a crap what age you are, what you're doing for a job, what your status is with your life. Do what you want to do. Yeah, bro. Chase those goals and dreams.
Absolutely. It's like, we were always the young kids, and now we're not the young guys anymore, So, you ask people, asking other kids on festival lineups and stuff, like, how old are you, bro? And they're like, oh, I'm 21. And you're like, fuck, we used to be the 21-year-olds running around festival sites causing ruckus, driving golf carts around and being fucking nutcases. And now we're like the fucking 24-year-olds standing at the back with our fucking earplugs and like, just being the old cunts. And we're fucking 24. It's like, get a hold of yourself. But, I always coming up, we would be the young guys, and older people that would be in sessions with and stuff would be like, oh, how old are you guys? And we're like, oh, we're 20. And they'd be like, holy shit, I wish I was doing what you guys are doing at your age and stuff. So there's always that part of me that's going to be like, all right, we were doing what we wanted, we were doing that crazy shit at 19, whatever. But also going forward, it's like, man, you can't stop your age. You can't change your age, what are you going to do? Just be content. Just drop everything.
Let that number hold you back kind of thing.
Be like, oh, I'm 27, I can't become a fucking, obviously the sports stuff's like a bit more body clock, but I can't become a painter or whatever you want to do. It's like, bro,
if you want to do it,
if you want to do it,
just do it. Full send, bro.
And just commit to it. Just go hard, and then, you'll always be, you like, everyone's going to get old and be 80 and stuff. Do you want to look back at just being at a life that you were just like cruise through doing nothing that you really cared about and just existing? It's just like, fuck that, bro. You want to look back and be like, well, at least I gave that thing a shot, and, however it went. But, I'm not here to be complacent my whole life.
I love that. As we said, in the moment kind of thing, bro. Now, let's speak about Tomorrowland. Speak about Tomorrowland, bro. It's 2016 to 2022. What an amazing journey you had, boys. What are the feelings now? Obviously, there's that certain feeling where you feel like it was meant to happen because you are so passionate about it. But is it such a buzz now to go to Belgium, be with the big dogs, and from little old New Zealand and playing at Tomorrowland?
Oh, bro, it's a. I'm not religious, but it's a blessing. Our manager dropped the bomb on us. We were out for lunch one day, and he's like, oh, so I got you guys this booking, being all nonchalant about it. We're like, where is it? Like, America? And he's like, no, Europe. And we're like, oh, yeah, what is it? He's like, got you guys on Tomorrowland. We're just like, fuck off. I think I actually probably started tearing up because I was like, all I watched when I was 16 was like Tomorrowland After Movie 2014, just like watching that stuff and just being like, whoa, what would that even be like to go to, let alone be on that stage? Bro, it's just a buzz. Like, I don't know. You can't really. I mean, it hasn't even happened yet, and I'm talking about it like it's happened. You
can't put it into words though. You can't put it into words.
It's like when you achieve your like utmost childhood goal in life, it's like there's not really anything better. You know what I mean? And getting to deal with your best friend after you've, you know, been on this journey for so many years, it's like, damn, it's like you can't help but think like, you know, you're just like, fuck, you know, like we worked for this, you know, we worked for this moment, and you know, shout out everyone that's been a part. Obviously, our manager Dan's been like a huge sort of like, you know, business partner of this whole journey, and like we would not be where we are without him. And yeah, it's just so amazing getting to like break bread with those that like you started with, you know, like Dan's been our manager for 7 years, and he's going to be side of stage watching us play Tomorrowland. It's like, you know, we all couldn't be more proud of each other, and like knowing how much we put into this. And you know, I'm planning on walking out there with the New Zealand flag around my shoulders, and like, you know, because, you know, growing up, you know, they always say, you know, if you want to represent New Zealand, you got to be an All Black, or you got to be a cricketer, or you got to be you know, a sport person. And I was like, fucking very few situations do people not in sport get to represent New Zealand. I'm like, I can't even think of anyone. So, you know, I'm going out there, putting the New Zealand flag on our shoulders, and going to be like, yeah, fuck it, we're representing New Zealand. Like,
I'm doing a damn good show.
Yeah, we don't care if we're not fucking rugby players.
Yeah.
Shout out to rugby though. Just, you know, we're just like, everyone can represent New Zealand in whatever profession you do. Don't let it be limited to sport.
Yeah, bro, 100%. And I hope you're proud of yourself, is what I'll say, bro. I hope you're proud of yourself. That's where it all starts, man. And that's the powerful thing about surrounding yourself with the right people. Like you said, you know, Dan's been there since the start, and now he's about to he's going to be there with you when you go to Tomorrowland. The thing you've been watching on YouTube and dreaming about is you're going to have those people around. And that's, like we said, you have the friends, and then you have those friends. Is make sure that those friends, you know, they give you the same energy you give. No, sorry, you receive the same you give. They give you a feeling of purpose. They encourage you with whatever you're doing. You don't want to have people around you where you say, like, for example, I'm going to start a podcast. Why the hell are you doing that? Because you don't feel enough. Is the word. You don't feel enough. You don't feel a purpose. What I'm trying to say. Yeah, bro. And that's an amazing thing you can take away from what Will just said. That's a perfect example of surrounding yourself with the right people. I couldn't even have said a better example of what you said, bro. That's so powerful now.
I think if we can touch on that, is like when we were starting off, like we had a bunch of mates that played in bands and a bunch of DJs and stuff. This was when we were at high school. And we would throw these like underage raves at like the Mount Eden Scout Hall and like all these sort of like all ages venues. And, you know, it would literally be like us, like our mate George, Harry and PJ, who are in a band now called Cellar.
Shout out.
And just like a bunch of our mates that were just like playing in bands, and or DJs, and we're just like, oh, you've got a PA? Oh yeah, I've got like 3 lights. I know a guy who's got like a stage. I've got a drum kit we can use. And we would just like throw these parties, and like, you know, this band would bring their mates, and we would bring our mates from this area, from like Grey Lynn, and they would bring them from the North Shore. And then all these North Shore people would see like us playing, and they'd be like, they'd go back to the North Shore and be like, oh, I saw these guys play called Sachi, like they were fucking cool, like their next party's at this thing. And like we just had this organic community that just kind of like built this, like, honestly, no better marketing tool better than word of mouth. That is 100%.
Yep.
Did you hear about this? People will take their friend's word on anything before they do any research themselves. And like we just built this core sort of like organic buzz, us and a bunch of bands that were coming up at the time. And that was so crucial because, you know, the next sort of few years, everyone went to Wellington for uni, stayed in Auckland, went to Dunners, Christchurch, and then, you know, every time we would play in those cities, it's like, oh yeah, fuck, I know them back from here, like they're my mates or they're my mates' mates, and that kind of like that style of
natural networking.
Yeah, natural network is like was so crucial, and it was all like, you know, we'd get off stage and we're like, oh, you know, our mates would get off stage and we'd be like, bro, mean set, like let me come jam bass next time, or let me come do this, and then they'd be like, oh yeah, bro, I should lay vocals on that track, or, you know, it was just all love, and all just young kids just like supporting each other, doing exactly what we wanted to do, and like, you know, since that, like, you know, like a lot of our guys, especially behind the scenes that were like doing the sound and the PA, have gone on to do like mix big bands, and like, building that. If I can give any advice to young kids coming up at school, is like build that like friend group of like kids that want to do what you want to do or can help you do what you want to do, and that's just the most powerful thing, bro. Like bunch of people just with the right mind and just like same ideas. It's like unstoppable. And
it's funny you said that, because I actually haven't realised that till recently. I've been doing this for 2 years now, but only in the past month or so I've started connecting a lot more. I was added to this group chat. We call it the podcast community. You have people from New Zealand, you have a handful from America, and a handful from Australia. And in that group chat, it's exactly that. As we're all like-minded, we're all on the same journey in different cars. We all want the same purpose with life. We maybe have different things. Mine's mental health. Yeah. Theirs might be financial, sports, whatever it may be. But you're surrounding yourself with the right people who are going to support you, who know the complications you feel, the stress, the anxiousness, who know how you're feeling, and they can pick you up because they've either been through it or you can pick them up because you've gone through it.
Bro, so powerful. Honestly, like if I can say anything as well, like you're never alone in a feeling.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, anyone you can find someone on the earth that's been through it exactly what you've gone through before, and probably even worse. Like you're never alone in like that, like a feeling that you feel like you're the only person in the world that's ever felt like this. You're not. Like there's a million people, and like a lot of people that have come out the other side of it and been like, oh, bro, if I was in I know how it feels to be in your shoes going through what you are going through right now, and like, trust me, do this and you'll be sweet, or like reach out to this person and you'll be sweet, or do this and you'll be sweet. Like, you're never alone, man. You're so, you're never alone.
Yeah. And just a simple word of mouth, because I've been through my own challenges and hurdles, and I assume you've gone through a few over your life, bro. It is hard to say that I need help, or I'm feeling shit, but as soon as you do, boom, bro, doors open, everything seems to happen for a reason. Like your best mate, bro, I've been feeling the same. What? You're like, what?
Yeah,
I've been sitting here for a couple of years feeling shit, and you're telling me you're feeling the same when I thought I was alone. It's just a simple, I'm not feeling good, or I've had a shit day.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, what are they gonna like? Fuck, if you go to your best mate and you go, bro, I'm feeling real bummed out about this. Like, I've been feeling like this. And they're like, oh, fuck, get over it. You'll be like, nah, that's not my mate.
Yeah,
you're like, that's red flag, bro. Like, get out of 100%. That. Like, I'm like, you honestly want your friends, your best friends, true test to your best friends will be one that you can go to and be like, bro, this is happening. And they go, bro, I fucking know it. Or, Johnny went through that. Like, he can help you out. Or like, bro, don't worry. Like, everything is going to be all good. Like, those are your real friends.
I want to ask, because it seems silly, but I've been wondering for the past few years now, is how did the name Sachi come around? Damn. Is there an interesting story behind it? A little bit of tea, or?
Yeah, I mean, there's an interesting story behind everything. That the Sachi one is a very interesting one. Yep. Nick was actually on exchange at must have been intermediate. Yep. Did like a exchange thing to Japan, and he went over there for about 6 months on like a student exchange, and the homestay person he was staying at was called Sachi, and he would always come back and tell me these stories about, oh yes, Sachi's like a common Japanese first name,
right? Okay, yeah.
And he'd come back and, oh yeah, Sachi used to when I was walking to school, Sachi would like we would walk past this thing and blah blah blah, and I was like, fuck, Sachi's just such a perfect word for a brand and a name, because it's so easy to write, simple, punchy, 2 syllables, had to count, and just like I was like, man, if we're gonna call anything Sachi, like it should be our band, because like I think that's such a good name, and it just looked good. And then Nick was like, yeah, fuck it, let's just do that. So that was how Sachi came about, the name at least.
And it's an iconic name, bro. I didn't even know it was Japanese. There you go. It's
very
Japanese.
common, because we always get like DMs and stuff being like, oh, my name's Sachi, like, and then we'll click on it and it'll be like,
did you name it after me?
Yeah. We're like, oh fuck. There's a couple of Sachis floating around, real humans. So yeah, it's funny, bro.
Yeah. So I want to ask a bit about you, brother. Is I know you've gone into your running heavily recently. You still going with that?
Of course, bro. Yeah. Running was the biggest savior of my mental health. I I don't really have any other. I flicked a switch in 2020 where I was kind of like, okay, we're not going to be doing any gigs. We got a lot of fulfillment and stuff from doing gigs. Not going to be playing any shows. Not going to be traveling anywhere. Life's just going to stand still for a bit. And I was like, what can I do to kind of keep my mind going and give myself something to work for, I think. And then I was like, I remember at the start of lockdown, I was staying at my dad's house. I couldn't even run 3Ks. And by the end of that year, I ran a half marathon. And I remember thinking like, fuck, this is crazy. Like I ran a half marathon. I could never have done that, a year ago. And bro, honestly, something about running, and it's different for everyone. Like, cause everyone's got like a walk or a swim in the ocean. That's the mental health thing that just clears your mind, makes you think, like, even if it's just a distraction for the time, everyone's got their own little things. But for me, it was running. And I just have everyone's like, bro, you've lost so much weight recently. I'm like, fuck, I haven't even really been looking at, I haven't even been weighing myself. It's not even about my body. It's about my mind. And I just find running is just like the perfect thing, because obviously I love music, and running and music go hand in hand. Like, you just put on a great playlist or a podcast, something you can just run for hours. And so it's like, it's allowed me this whole other time of the day where I can just listen to music completely uninterrupted, just me, and I can just run, and it just gives me this like fire almost, and just this sort of thing that I'm just like, fuck yeah, this is fucking sweet, just endorphins and stuff. But it's just been my ticket to mental clarity. I don't know what it is. There's obviously science behind it, but specifically running, exercise has obviously been a big part of my life for forever. But yeah, specifically like putting on my shoes, trotting off with my headphones in, and just being completely uninterrupted, like in flight mode. And bro, it's literally my savior. I'd say it saved my life, I would almost say. Yeah.
Would you mind if we touched on that? Maybe your own challenges or obstacles, bro?
Yeah, I think, bro, it's a stressful life being a musician, being a full-time musician, and there's often days where I catch myself up on thinking too far ahead, and I think like, oh, okay, what's our next move, and like, how's our next move gonna? You're always trying to top yourself. You're always trying to one up what you've done, or do it better, or do it bigger. And also another trap I've been falling into is comparisons, this person's got this many followers, or this person's got this many streams on the song, and like, once you actually like hone it all back and go, I'm on my own journey, and what like my journey is going to be different to their journey, and my difference going to be this is like, and people will look at us and go, fuck, I wish I had that many followers, or I wish I was playing Tomorrowland and stuff. So once you kind of, you actually just got to remind yourself, like, we're just doing what we do, and whatever other people do is completely out of our control. You just have to support everyone else. That's the main thing. It's talk back to the Tall Poppy thing of like, you look at that that person doing this or playing that show or selling that many tickets, and you're like, oh, fuck them, and then you actually go, what the fuck am I talking about? Like, nah, fucking good on them. Like, that's fucking sick. Like, they're on their journey, achieving their goals, doing their shit. Like, that's fucking dope. Like, good on them for doing that. And then you have to look back at yourself and be like, oh yeah, fuck, we're actually doing sick shit too. Like, never discredit yourself. It's too easy to. Yeah. Like, it's too easy to be your own worst enemy and your own worst like critic. Yeah. And you actually just have to, every time you think a bad thought of like, fuck, I'm shit, or fuck, this sucks, this song sucks, blah blah blah, this song's not gonna do anything. You just go, trick your mind and go, nah, this song's awesome, and this song's actually fucking powerful, and this song means a lot to me, and you actually your outlook on life will be greatly different. Is when you start giving yourself positive affirmations, and you just cut that bullshit, or when you start to go down that mental track of being like, oh, fuck this, fuck that, blah blah blah, and you go, whoa, actually, nah, fuck, this is sick, this is awesome, or like, look at this great thing, or look at this fucking beautiful day, or the smaller things in life, you just, your outlook on life is just so much more positive than thinking, if you're just a fuck this person, you're just gonna have a fuck this life.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah,
it's all about perspectives, and I try to push.
100%.
I try to push that really hard. Is you can wake up one day, and you can say, I'm not going to go to work. Can't be stuffed. You know, and you go to work and you have a shit day, or you can wake up and say, okay, not really feeling up for work, but I'm going to work hard so I can go home.
Yeah,
you know, it's all about that perspective, and you're so right, bro. And the whole I dread talking about it because I just don't like it. Is the whole social media thing? Is it so easy to fall in the trap?
It's a numbers game, bro.
Yeah, bro. 9 times out of 10, you wake up in the morning, see what's happening on Instagram, 5-10 minutes, and you see people, for example, like Travis Scott, that kind of person who's having their amazing life. They're having that life because that's the life they made for themselves. You know, you may be an athlete and you're comparing yourself to a musician. You know, you may be an equestrian and comparing yourself to a marathon runner. It's okay to be doing your own thing. 100%. And people, if you're, say we're both musicians, right? Or you're a podcaster as well, and one of us, you know, we reach our goals and that kind of thing, and it's a whole comparison thing, like you said, bro, it is okay. We all reach our peaks at different times. We all succeed at different times. Don't let that stop you. Don't compare. And I wanted to say before is how, you know, you look at other people and you congratulate them. You can learn stuff off them as well. You know, what's worked with them?
Yeah,
you know? Oh shit, we've actually done the same. We've had the same journey, kind of. What have they done differently? Don't be so.
And also, just don't get caught up in Instagram fake bullshit. You know, like. Bro, Travis Scott will be having he'll look like he's got the best life with the hottest girlfriend and or hottest wife, whatever, and the fucking brown Lamborghini and all that shit. Like, bro, don't forget the struggles that he's going through as well. Like, you know, like,
my point, bro. Yeah.
Just don't forget, like, everyone's got their own battles, and like, you know, being that successful and that rich and famous only just amplifies everything else. You know, so you can imagine, you know, just take everything you see on Instagram and on social media with a grain of salt. It's like because it's all branding, it's all promotion, and whatever your agenda is, you want to promote. Like, you know, we want to promote our music. That's why we use social media. We want to promote our brand so we can do fucking, you know, play shows and stuff. Like, that's why we use social media, and we want to engage with our fan base. We want to let them know that we're here for them, and we're fucking, you know, we want to talk and we want to like make music that connects with them. Like, that's why we use social media. But like, everyone's got their own agenda on why they post on social media and why they want to have their life perceived XYZ on social media. And, you know, just, you know, don't let that trick you, because like I guarantee the most person that looks like they're having the best life is often not having the best life. So
they're posting holiday photos from like 6 years.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, I do talk about it quite often, even though I try to shy away from it. But it's a real important topic, because a lot of people who, you know, follow part of the family and following what I'm trying to push is they're in that age bracket. You know, I'm 19, you're 24, kind of similar age. Is phones and stuff were there. But it was, you know, Blackberries and the old Nokias and all that kind of stuff. And social media was only just, oh, wow, what is this kind of thing? But like my little sister, who's 9, it's her friends. That is their learning, bro. You know, we read books and we did puzzles and kindergarten stuff. Now they're learning on iPads, ABCs on iPads. That's what their life is.
Yeah, I mean, it's, fuck. Everyone's got their own perspective on the iPad babies, but... Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think it's not healthy.
Bro, the more time you can spend putting that shit down and interacting and having conversations and stuff, I think, like, obviously there's not much you can conversate with a 9-year-old, because they're probably talking about fairies and all that shit. But you know, I think you know, it's just like it's a double-edged sword. The Instagram, social media, TikTok thing. It's scary. I'm like, you know, thinking about like, fuck, our kids are going to grow up like around, like they're going to be TikTok babies. Like the fucking next president of America is scrolling TikTok right now. You know, like how fucking weird is that? You know, who knows? The next president might get up there and fucking do some TikTok dance or some shit. You know, who knows what the future holds. But man, I think like if anything, like you can learn the most from having conversations with good people
100%.
and growing up, those conversations that I had with, you know, my family and stuff. Like, you know, I just remember having like super in-depth conversations when I was 10 years old, as in-depth as I could go, you know, and just like spending that time off the TV and stuff to just kind of like be a part of something else that it wasn't like digital.
Yeah. That human reaction is really important like that. I had a chat with an 83-year-old a couple of weeks ago, and she had lost her husband 6 years ago. And her main thing was to make the most out of life. You know, she was saying she's 83 and she's driving herself around. She's going to Bunnings and doing all this stuff. She said, make the most out of life. And I walked away from that conversation thinking a lot about my life. She's 83. And
she's been through it all.
Yeah, bro. Like she was 8 when the Second World War ended, and she came from England on a boat, like that kind of thing. And she said they had nothing when they came over here. They put all their savings into a little flat. Yeah. She gave everything to her kids, even though they had nothing. They made sure every birthday and Christmas the kids had something. She said, make the most out of life. And it's little things like that. And why I'm saying is that conversation is even, I can remember conversations I had with my grandfather when I was 6. Those core memories, bro. Yeah. Those core memories.
Honestly, bro, a good conversation will stick with you for the rest of your life.
100%.
My family came from Greece, and my great-grandfather legged it off a fishing boat in Dunedin, couldn't speak a word of English, walked into an Italian restaurant and basically said, like, can I work for you? I've got nothing. I'm 17 years old or however old he was. And he ended up just sleeping under the table at the Italian restaurant, worked his way up, and then ended up like opening his own restaurant in Dunedin one day, came from absolute nothing. And we've got this really famous saying in our family is that there'll never be peace in the Boltons. I think it's the Boltons. I think it's the part of the islands in Greece, but there'll never be peace in the Boltons. Is basically what my great grandmother said to him. It was basically like, get out of here. There'll never be peace over here. Like, go follow your life, go on your own journey. And since then, like, my great granddad, who came from nothing, has built this like a family. My old mum's side of the family, and we've been like he's had kids since he obviously had kids. He had my mum, and then it was just like he just went out on a whim and was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to start this whole new life on the other side of the world, and I don't know how it's going to go. And I'm always grateful from having that background of that family that just really came from absolute nothing and started something from scratch. And I'm just like, just workhorses, bro. Absolute workhorses. That was so instilled in me when I was growing up, having conversations with my granddad about when he was working in restaurants and owning his own businesses and stuff, and owning buildings and managing tenants and stuff, and just like all that sort of work ethic and that sort of like how important those personal relationships are with people and those conversations. And like, man, I'll just never forget those conversations. Like, never will I. Like, I could, just like recite them in my head almost like completely uninterrupted. And it's just like, it's just powerful stuff you just don't forget. Those sort of like early childhood memories that just instill your kind of like life thing. I was like, fuck, like Dimitri, my great grandfather, came from nothing, like, and worked his ass off so that I could be here, so my family could be here in New Zealand. Yeah. And it's like, I've got to work my ass off, like, so that I can like give my family the best, like it just, it's so grateful for that. Yeah.
And is that whole, you've just said it then, is the whole being grateful. Being grateful, bro. Now, I want to ask, we obviously know Tomorrowland's coming up, so that's probably the priority or the vision you guys are working towards now is, but what is coming up in between then and now?
A bunch of new music. We were in Australia, so we were writing over there for 5 weeks straight. So we came back with a bunch of songs. So we're finishing those off. Those will come out hopefully 1 or 2 of those will come out before Tomorrowland, and then. Yeah, bro, we're working on an album right now, which will hopefully be probably Q1, Q2 next year. Just a bunch of stuff, man. I'm trying to think. Fuck, there's always new. We're always trying to explore the NFT world and all that stuff, and trying those sort of stuff. Obviously, we've got merch and bunch of shows and stuff over summer. Yeah, man, it's just like there's always a million things on the fucking.
Always got to keep the ball rolling, eh?
Always got to keep the ball rolling and feeding the fire.
Yeah, bro, I love it. Yeah. Now I want to hand it over to you. You can be 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, up to you, brother. Yeah. I find this part really important because I like to hand it over and just for you to put any advice out there, anything you want to say, it matters to you or something you feel needs to be heard. So anything at all, brother, just take it away.
Damn. I'd say, back to what we were talking about earlier, I'd say, surround yourself with people that are only going to give you true feedback and honest feedback and honest support. Because obviously you need feedback when you're coming up, and you know you may fucking suck at what you do at the time. And we definitely had a lot of feedback from like our close peers being like, oh nah, that song, nah, not it, like that sucks, or change that or add that. But like only surround yourself with people that have your best intentions at mind, your absolute best intentions. No one that's trying to leverage off you or you know, cut you down even, or like pull some funny shit, or trying to be seen with you, or like, you know, only surround yourself with people that are just like genuinely there for you and genuinely want to see you do well. That's like, man, once you surround yourself with those people, everything else just falls into place. Yeah,
I love it, and I hope you took something away from that. It's actually a really powerful point, and we've touched on about surrounding yourself with the right people. You know, I'm really big on that. You know, I push that towards you. Is surround yourself with those people, and wonders will happen. Now, I want to say thank you again, brother, for taking time and coming on those topics, man.
Appreciate you, Hendo, and I appreciate you giving people the platform, because you know I've never really done anything like this to go really in deep like that. Yeah. Giving those people the platform, because everyone's got a story, and not everyone gets to share their story.
Exactly.
And I appreciate you for giving people that platform to share their story, and like that is fucking powerful. And people out there will hear some shit, be like, fuck, that's exactly what's going on in my life. I needed to hear that today.
Yeah.
You know, so love, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's an amazing opportunity. I'm so grateful Will came and spoke to us, and I really hope you've taken something out of it. You know, I hope something you've heard from either Will or myself has been like, damn, okay. You know, like Will said, I'm not alone. And like I said, it's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to feel. It's okay to feel.
Feel alive.
Yeah. Feel alive. But as always, you know I love you. You know how to get in touch with me. My line's always open about anything. If you think it's stupid, it's important to me. So message me any time of the day about anything. As always, make sure you do what makes you happy. Do what you know is right, and do what you need to do for yourself. Yeah. Thank you for coming on, Will.
You, bro.
Have an amazing week. Look after yourself. See you later.